John Arthur Getreu, a name forever etched in the annals of true crime, died behind bars. He was 79 years old, having spent decades evading the consequences of his horrific actions. Getreu was a serial rapist and murderer, his crimes spanning continents and decades. His death, while bringing a sense of finality, could never erase the pain and suffering he inflicted upon his victims and their families. Getreu's reign of terror finally ended within the cold, sterile walls of a California state prison, where he breathed his last breath as a convicted killer. Getreu was serving 2 life sentences for the murders of 2 young women in the 1970s. Leslie Marie Perlov and Janet Ann Taylor, both bright and full of life, were brutally murdered near Stanford University, their futures stolen by a predator hiding in plain sight. Getreu's death marked the end of a nightmare that had haunted their families for almost 50 years. It closed a chapter on a dark period marked by fear and uncertainty, but it could never truly heal the wounds left behind. Getreu's path of violence began long before he reached California soil. His disturbing proclivity for cruelty first surfaced in 1963, casting a long shadow that would follow him for years to come. At the tender age of 18, while stationed in West Germany with the U.S. Army, Getreu committed a crime that would foreshadow the horrors to come. He raped and strangled 15-year-old Margaret Williams, a young life extinguished far too soon. German authorities, perhaps naive to the depths of Getreu's depravity, sentenced him to 10 years. However, he was released after serving a mere 6 years. They believed, tragically incorrectly, that he would turn his life around. This decision would have devastating consequences, allowing Getreu to walk free and continue his reign of terror on another continent. In the early 1970s, Getreu resurfaced in California, blending into society and carrying on with his life as if he were not harboring a dark secret. He found work as a security guard, a chilling irony given the nature of his crimes. Getreu's presence brought fear and death to the Bay Area, shattering the illusion of safety and security. On February 16, 1973, Leslie Marie Perlov, a 21-year-old Stanford law librarian, was found murdered. Her body was discovered in the hills overlooking the Stanford campus, a floral scarf tied tightly around her neck. Just over a year later, terror struck again. On March 25, 1974, Janet Ann Taylor, a 21-year-old Canada College sophomore and daughter of former Stanford football coach Chuck Taylor, was found murdered on Stanford land. She had been strangled, beaten, and her clothes were torn. Prosecutors believed Getreu intended to rape her. The Bay Area was on edge, a killer stalking the shadows, leaving behind a trail of grief and despair. Decades of deception. For decades, John Arthur Getreu lived a double life. He was a phantom, a ghost in the machine of justice, slipping through the cracks and evading capture. He built a seemingly normal life in California, all while carrying the weight of his heinous crimes. Getreu's ability to blend in, to appear ordinary, was a testament to his cunning and his ability to compartmentalize. He was a chameleon, adapting to his surroundings, all the while concealing the monster within. Even a 1975 statutory rape conviction, this time of a teenage girl in his Explorer Scout troop, did not expose him. Getreu's ability to evade justice for so long was a bitter pill to swallow, a reminder that monsters often hide in plain sight, their true nature concealed behind a veneer of normalcy. He became a ghost story whispered among law enforcement, a specter that haunted the families of his victims. Getreu's reign of terror seemed to have no end, his crimes a chilling reminder that some wounds never truly heal.